Good morning, Roots. All right, so I wanted to really chat with you guys about goal setting, why it's important, and a couple things that a lot of people are missing when I see them writing their goals down. Monthly, whether they're short term, like for monthly goals, or long term. So I kind of just want to like break it down for you guys. I knew that cop was going to get someone. I knew it. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. So good morning. I hope you guys had a great Friday yesterday, and I hope you have a great day today. It's supposed to be beautiful. I'm on my way home from Clarksville, which is where my parents are building their house, and I'm going horseback riding today. So I'm on my way home to go do that. So, goal setting. Number one, like if you're not setting goals for yourself every month, and even long-term goals, like how are you supposed to grow if you don't know where you're going, right? If you don't know what you're aiming to hit, how are you supposed to grow? How are you supposed to push yourself if you don't know what you're aiming for? So that is why you set goals, okay? You can have goals for your business, you can have goals for your personal life, you can have goals for what you want Scentsy to provide you with, not business related. It could be literally like, what is Scentsy going to be the vessel to, okay? It could be your goal for today, it could be your goal for tomorrow, it could be your goal for the month, it could be your goal for the next 6 months, it could be your goal for the next year, or even long-term 5-10 year goals, okay? So a lot of people are missing the point where when you set your goals, you're setting like a broad goal. I want you guys to be specific, okay? I actually talked to a teamie today, and she had messaged me, and she was like, I hit my 500. I was like, that's freaking awesome. It's only the 4th, and you just hit 500 PRV, which means you just hit leadership numbers, which is awesome. I love seeing people hit leadership numbers, especially in the first 2 weeks of your business, and you just hit it on day 4. Like, that is huge. So I asked her, I was like, what is your PRV goal for the month? And she told me, she said either 1,000 or 1,500. And I said, okay, well, that's a large gap. So I really want you to like zone in and actually pick a specific number, not a broad number, a specific number, and aim for that. Because what happens is if you only pick a broad number, okay? If you only pick okay, my goal is between 1,000 and 1,500. If that's your goal, what's going to happen is you're going to aim for the lower number. You're going to aim for the lower number. Why? Because it's going to be easier for you to hit. If my girl is already at 500 on day 4, why do you only have a goal for another 500 in sales when you just hit that in 4 days? And we still have basically the entire month left. Like, you could totally push yourself out of your comfort zone and shock yourself. And I think that's why people don't like to be specific, is because they don't want to get down on themselves if they don't hit that goal, right? But if you don't make a specific goal and you're not pushing yourself out of that comfort zone, out of the comfort bubble that you created and made for yourself, no one else created that, you created that. How are you supposed to get out of that comfort bubble? How are you supposed to push yourself out of that zone and shock yourself? So if your goal every month is the same thing or roughly the same thing, you're not growing. You're staying stagnant. You're in the same spot as you were the month before. How are you supposed to grow? How is your business supposed to grow? How are you supposed to grow as a person? Okay? So my goal for you is to make it scary. Or not my goal. My challenge to you is to make your goals scary. Make them specific. Okay? If you hit 500 PRV last month, I'm challenging you to aim for 1,000 this month. Because if you have a goal of 1,000 and you actually write it down on a piece of paper and you put it somewhere where you're going to see it every day, guess what? You're training your brain to go farther, to push just a little bit more, to get a little bit more uncomfortable each and every day that you see that goal. Because what's going to happen, you see that goal, your eyes see it, right? Your eyes are the first ones that sees it. It transmits to your brain saying, okay, this is my goal. You're reading your goal, which is why it's written down without even saying it out loud. You're reading it as soon as you see it. Okay? 500 PRV, 1,000 PRV, whatever your goal is, you're transmitting that to your brain, which means you are going to have that extra conversation. You're going to push yourself to actually post on your Facebook story, your Instagram story. Okay? But if you're only aiming for the minimum because you know that you've hit that before, that is called your comfort zone. You're not going to grow from that. Jesus, what is with all of these freaking cops everywhere? Lord have mercy. Good thing I'm going the speed limit. Your girl ain't getting pulled today. So that is when I say create goals for yourself, I don't want you guys to create comfort goals. Like if you're going to create comfort goals where you've already hit those goals, they're not even goals anymore. You've already hit them. Once you've hit that goal, it's no longer a goal. Okay? It's just you being stagnant and you being comfortable and you being scared. That's what it is. I'm just going to put it out there. I get it. I've been there. But wouldn't you rather push yourself, okay, and aim for 2,000 PRV because you've never hit 2,000 PRV? You aim for 2,000 PRV, even though it scares the poop out of you, like you could literally pee yourself thinking about it, but you're gonna push yourself until you do something that you've never done before, until you talk to someone you've never talked to before, until you have had the join conversation with someone you've never even spoken to about the join conversation because for whatever reason you're nervous to talk about it with that specific person. I get it. I still experience those feelings, y'all. I still categorize people without even realizing, okay? I still think about specific people and I'm like, yeah, they would never be interested in joining Cincy, or they would never be interested in the product, okay? Most of the time when you're categorizing people and you're prejudging people, listen, it's normal. We're human. We all judge, okay? It happens half the time it happens without us even thinking about it, okay? But when you prejudge someone, I can almost guarantee you those are the people who are going to become your best customer, and those are the people who are going to join your team. Might not be today, it might not be tomorrow, it might not even be in the next 6 months, but it's going to happen. It's going to happen. But it's not going to happen if you don't actually have a conversation with them. Okay? So I'm challenging you guys to push yourself out of your comfort zone. And guess what? Aren't you going to be so much more proud of yourself? Let's say your goal is 2,000, you've never hit 2,000. Let's say that last month you hit 1,000 in sales and you're like, okay, I'm really going to push myself this month. I'm going to push myself in September, this fall, to hit 2,000 in September, PRV, 2,000 PRV. And then the end of the month comes and you hit, let's say, 1,700. Aren't you going to be freaking proud of yourself that you hit 1,700 even though you did not reach your 2,000 goal, but you pushed yourself and you can honestly say, hey, I gave it all I had this month? Aren't you going to be 10 times prouder of yourself? And then guess what? Even though you didn't reach your 2,000, your goal for October is going to be 2,300 and you're going to freaking hit it. You're going to hit it. But guess what? I can't make your goals for yourself. Your sponsor can't make your own goals. You have to create your goals and you have to push yourself out of that comfort bubble, okay? Otherwise, you're never going to grow. I'm just going to say it. You're never going to grow. I never went live a day in my life until I got my Cincy kit. Why did I do it? Because my sponsor told me to go live with my kit, opening my kit, and I said, you've got to be kidding me. I don't do live. My sister does live. I literally said that. My sister goes live. I'm not the outgoing one in my family. My sister is. So no, I will not be going live with my kit. Guess what I did? I went live with my kit. And I think I had I'll never forget it. I opened it after I got home from work. I was still in my scrubs looking a hot mess. I opened up my kit. My husband was on night shift at the time. And so he was laying in bed, and the way that our house was set up at the time, he could see me while he was laying in bed where I was opening my kit in the kitchen. And y'all, I only had 6 people on my live video. It was 6 people. My husband went live of me going live because I looked and sounded ridiculous. I didn't even know what I was talking about. and he had like 30 people on his live, and he was like, hey, how many people you got? And we were comparing. He was like, yeah, I got way more than you. I was like, that's not even fair, okay? But guess what? I grew from it. I grew from going live for that first time because now I knew, number one, how live worked, number two, what to say, what not to say, and number three, that people liked messy and could relate to a messy life. They can relate to it. So do the thing that you've never done and you will grow from it. If you don't grow from it, you're going to learn from it, which means you freaking grew in some way, somehow. It means you got something from it. Guys, your business, every aspect of your business can relate back to something personal that you have gone through, okay? So a breakup. Let's talk about a breakup. Every single one of us, there's 4 people up here. I know every single one of us has gone through a breakup. What happened? You learned from it, didn't you? You grew from it, didn't you? You probably were blessed with something better in return, correct? It's the same thing with your business. So you have a crappy sponsoring conversation. You give them too much information up front. Okay, well, guess what? You grew from it. Now you know that you let the person you're having the conversation with, the joint conversation with, lead the conversation, so you don't scare them off by giving them too much information, by word vomiting, right? You grew from it. So you didn't book a party because maybe you said, hey, do you want to do a party? And a party freaked out your girl or your guy, whoever you asked, and they ghosted you. Well, guess what? You learned from it. Now you don't say the word party. Now you reword it. And you figure out, okay, well, what sounds more appealing? Okay? It's the same thing. We are all growing and learning from our mistakes. But if you're not making mistakes, you're not growing. So if you're not pushing yourself out of your comfort zone to make those mistakes, you are staying stagnant in the same exact spot that you've been, and you're not going to see growth. That is the number one thing why people do not see growth in this business, is because number one, they're not willing to do the scary things, and number two, they're not willing to keep doing the scary things after they get put down and knocked on their ass the first time they do it. That is why people are not successful in this business. That is the only reason people are not successful in this business. I've been doing this for almost 4 years. I know you guys have heard that a million times. Do you know how many no's I continue to hear every day? Do you know how many times I get ghosted by my own freaking customers when I ask them to do a party? Do you know how many? It happens to me all the time. I'm at the point where I know that in the long run, being ghosted is going to turn back around and bless my business. And not only is it going to bless my business, it's going to bless the person that freaking ghosted me. The reason why people ghost you is because they don't know how to say no. Or they don't know how to have that conversation. So it's their response, it's their, what am I trying to say? Gosh, the word is like at the tip of my tongue. That's how they protect themselves, okay? Because they don't know how to say either no, I'm not interested in partying, because they don't want to hurt your feelings, or they don't know what a party means, and they don't want to ask you and say, hey, what does a party mean? Because maybe that will make them feel stupid. Okay? That is their way of coping. It's a coping mechanism. Being ghosted, okay, someone ghosting someone else, that is their coping mechanism. That's what I've been trying to say this whole time. Okay? It has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with them. So if someone's saying, no, I don't want to party, it's not because of you. If someone left you on red, it's not because of you, it's because of them. Okay? It's their problem. They have to work through it. So stop getting all butthurt when someone says, no, I'm not interested in doing a party. Do you know how many times I've said no to someone in direct sales, or I said no to the lady at the restaurant when she asked me if I wanted some freaking dessert, and I said no? Does she get upset? No, she doesn't. She continues to ask every table, are you guys interested in dessert? Do you want the cheesecake? She doesn't get upset about it. She probably got upset about it, possibly. Her first time that she ever asked, her first day as a server where she had to ask, hey, what would you like for dessert? And they said nothing. But you know what she also, do you know what she or he, sorry, you know, boy or girl, do you know what that person probably learned from her mistake though? Instead of going and asking, hey, do you want dessert? Because she knows if you get dessert, the check's higher, which means her tip's gonna be higher, right? So she probably knows that instead of saying, hey, can I get you some dessert? She's now saying, hey, we have this awesome cheesecake topped with this caramel drizzle and these, I don't know, strawberry pieces that have been soaking in sugar all night. It is amazing. Every person that has ordered it today has loved it, and we only have 2 slices left. Do you guys want one? I bet you she didn't say that the first time, and that's why they said no, was because they were like, oh, do you want some dessert? But then she actually explained it, and she actually educated them on like, hey, this is how it's made. It's obviously a top seller because we only have 2 slices left. And she just told you that everybody that has ordered it today loved it. Okay? So she learned from her mistake. So learn from your mistakes. Learn from learn from the way you are talking to people. Okay? And just do it. Do the freaking thing. But if you don't do it, you're not ever gonna know if you're gonna get a yes. And hearing the word no and being ghosted multiple times over and over and over makes that one yes so much sweeter. Okay? Why? Because you kept getting knocked down on your ass, yet instead of staying down and crying about it, you got back up and you continued to ask people. You continued to grow from what you just got punched in the face for. Okay? Same thing with your relationship at home, with your spouse or with your boyfriend or with your mom, with your best friend. Is it always pretty? No. But do you just quit when you guys get into one fight and you're like, nope, I'm done? No, you don't. You don't. You keep going, you work through it. It's the same thing with your business, okay? You work through the hard times and you grow from the hard times. So, back to why I was coming here live was your goals this month, okay? Number 1, I think only like 4 people commented. So, I'm gonna need some more people, which, I mean, I guess you're probably the 4 up here watching. So, y'all are the 4 that I'm focused on, okay? But make your goal specific, okay? If you hit 500 PRV last month and your goal this month is 500 PRV, push your freaking self. Push yourself. I'm challenging you to push yourself. At the end of the day, they're your goals, so you can do what you want, but you're not going to see any growth if you keep doing the same thing over and over and over, okay? Push yourself, and I promise you, you're going to freaking shock yourself, because the more you push yourself, the higher your goal is, the scarier your goal is, the more you are going to push yourself to hit it. But if you stay at a small goal where you've already hit it, then you're comfortable, right? You don't have to work harder. Why would you work harder if you're already comfortable with where you're going? Okay? My dad always told me anytime that I had like a test, or anytime that I had a job interview, or anytime that I was like going to meet Vince's family for the first time and I was nervous. He said being nervous is a great thing. He said it means that you are getting uncomfortable and you're stepping out of your comfort zone and you're doing something you've never done, which means that you're going to grow from this situation. Whether it was a bad situation or whether it was a good situation, you're going to grow from it regardless. So remember that. All right, y'all, I hope you guys have a great weekend. I love you guys.